Hello guys, welcome to the channel. Here bringing you another Diablo 4 video. I just wanted to talk a little bit about my first thoughts about the game after playing it for about 2 weeks with the early access version. So let's get right into it. So I think the very beginning, first thing there is to talk about is the story. I think the story was amazing, and if I was gonna rate this game on only that, it'd be a 10 out of 10. Hands down, one of the best Diablo stories of all time. Um, Diablo 2 story is pretty good, and I didn't really like the Diablo 3 story. Um, not a big fan. I've been playing Diablo since the very first game when I was a kid. I played a lot of Diablo 2 and not too much Diablo 3. So for me, Diablo 4 was pretty good. I really thought it was fun for the very first time. Playing the whole campaign with my friend. It was just a blast. It was like a brand new adventure. Everything was good. It felt good to overcome the capstone dungeon challenges. I like the darkness about the game, that it really went back to like that real scary vibe of, Diablo and the darkness, and everything's just kind of messed up right now, right? I think they did a good job with the class fantasies, identifying with the sorcerers and stuff like that. Like, I really feel like a part of my class. I went Frost Sorcerer, the Ice Shards build. Pretty good, pretty powerful. You know, we made it to level 80. Right, here's the build. Most of you guys already know it. It does a lot of damage. I can solo 50s, which the mobs are about level 110 or so. So it's not like it's very like challenging right now, but we'll talk about that in a second. Definitely better than Diablo 3, in my opinion. Then again, I'm not really a super big fan on Diablo 3. We'll have to see what the seasons bring, because one thing's for certain, I'm not looking forward to doing these renowns. Okay, so I've done all of the renowns except for the last one, because I am over it, quite frankly. I will do the renowns once more in Season 1, but after that, I don't think I'll be really wanting to do them. As far as the itemization goes, I think it's okay. I do like the fact that in Diablo 2, you could farm certain areas for certain items. Like, for example, if you wanted runes, you would have to farm the Hell Countess and stuff like that. Bale runs, Mephisto runs, for like certain items. I thought that was good, whereas Diablo 4 kind of seems that everything just drops everywhere, except for the Shaco. That doesn't seem to drop anywhere. So I've heard that it's only like level 90 plus or whatever. Maybe it's in the higher tier nightmare dungeons, which I can only get up to 50 because I'm level 79, and we're gonna talk about the leveling here in a second. I think the glyphs and the Paragon system is okay. It definitely is more in depth than the Diablo 3 one. I do miss the skill trees of Diablo 2, where like the certain spells get more damage and synergize with that more. I do like how the skills can like max at level 20, and then with the +1 to all skills, it can exceed that. Whereas you see in here, my Frost Nova is rank 12, that feels pretty good. My Ice Shards is rank 9, that feels pretty good. And if we get the Shaco, that'll be +4 to all skills, which is insane. But I just like how the skills can go up past like the max. I just think that's pretty cool. So the bad things I would say about Diablo 4 is, for one, like the set items. I know in Diablo 3 it made it seem that you were trying to go for like a certain build and the set items would like lock you into that build and there wouldn't be really any wiggle room. But I like the idea of having like Tall Rasha's Regalia and, you know, get that glowing effect, or the Immortal Kings for the Barbarian, or the Trangzal set for the Necromancer, which like actually transformed you into one of those ghouls. I thought that was pretty cool, and I like to see, you know, set item bonuses, even if it wasn't like a full set, maybe even like a weapon and an offhand that together create like additional power, and maybe like chance on hit transforms you into a carver or like a fallen shaman or something like that. Just I think that stuff's cool. Just like, you know, I like how sometimes the spells can be transformative. Transforms your Hydra into an ice Hydra, or maybe even your Hydra is now permanent and walks around with you. I don't know, something like that. Another bad thing I'm going to say about Diablo 4 is there's no social aspect of the game. There's no auction house, there's no grouping, there's no trading. And what I mean by that is I can't even trade a legendary to my friend who was literally with me when it dropped. There's millions of people playing this game, but I just feel so alone. And this also ties in with, you know, the XP kind of thing, because you get 5% XP per person, you know, up to 20%. This guy's level 93, must have a group. And playing by yourself is just less efficient in terms of leveling, right? And even Diablo 3 had like a looking for group kind of thing. Oh wow, this guy's 99, 98. So it's only been out for 2 weeks, so I would like them to see that. Diablo is going to have a campfire chat tomorrow at 11 PST. So we'll see if they address some of the community concerns, but for like an MMO light, it just seems kind of weird that they don't really have no social aspect. Like, I could say hi in the chat and nobody's gonna say anything, right? It just feels so disconnected. Everyone's just in their own world, which I think is kind of unfortunate. And also, I think the lack of the content of the 115, 125 dungeons, whatever it is, it seems like an empty promise in a way, because there's really only 10, right? Some of them have all the same bosses, right? Like the Blood Bishop, the Scourge of the Land, the Khazra Champion. They're all kind of like recycled, right? And they all kind of have the same, like, just like fight all enemies, kill all enemies, get the Animus, which I still have PTSD from Shadowlands. What else is there? Get the key, slay the 2 guys, kill the 3 skeleton structures, kill the barricades, grab the bloodstone key, put it in the thing, fight the boss, level up your glyphs, whatever, you're done. So, and the real only content at the end game is the Nightmare Dungeons. They're the most XP efficient, and I honestly I can't sit there and just do the same dungeon over and over for like 6 hours. It's just not fun. It's just not fun to level. I would like to see like more challenges in between, because you go to the Capstone 3, you do that, and then you kind of build your character up and progress into Capstone 4, and that was a good challenge. But then after that, it's kind of just like nightmare dungeons until you hit level 100, and then you fight Lilith. I would like to see more like challenges on the way, like a little bit more fights here and there to kind of like, here's your next milestone, you're working towards that, blah blah blah. You know, maybe even like group raids, like a super hard dungeon or a super hard like group of bosses that you have to fight, you know, in order to like beat it and to move on to the next level. The world bosses, there's only 3. I mean, this game took what, 8 years to make, and you only made 3 world bosses. That's, I don't know. I don't know about that. Like I said, we'll have to see what season 1 brings. Hopefully, there is. I don't think there's gonna be new content in season 1, but we'll just have to see. Oh, and then the big question again is, will Renown be reset? A lot of people don't want to do that. And like I mentioned earlier, grinding levels, it just feels bad. Nightmare Dungeon seems the fastest way with 4 people. I don't know if you gotta go to like a third-party website to find a group or get in a clan. But I did Nightmare Dungeons for 2 hours yesterday, and I didn't even get 1 level. Like you see here, I'm like extremely close to level 80, but I just couldn't do it anymore. And let's talk about the PvP. I think it's good that they keep trying to do PvP, but I think they just fell a little bit short again. Like, even a Diablo Immortal, regardless of, you know, the whalers and stuff like that, I thought the idea of like a sanctioned battleground was really cool. I like the idea of, you know, pushing your guardian to the thing, destroy the core. I really wish that they could do something like that, like a sanctioned PvP battleground, in addition to like the open world kind of thing that they got going on with these blood shards here. Even though the red dust, there isn't like too many rewards. Like you can gamble for 3,000, but that doesn't seem very wise when you can just do your obols. And then the red dust cosmetics is just, well, yeah, it's just cosmetics. The rewards are all cosmetic. So I'd like to see, you know, maybe some kind of PvP gear that, you know, gives you more power in PvP. I mean, I love playing WoW. I love PvP in WoW. I'd like to see, you know, arenas. I think that would be cool. Maybe some kind of, you know, PvP leaderboards. But then again, you know, it's still preseason. We don't know what they got cooking. We'll see what Season 1 holds. There is no secrets so far that I've seen, that I've heard of. I'm almost certain they will be adding a cow level, right? I think that's one of the cool things about Diablo is the cow level, the secret levels. The only secret that I've actually come across is these cellars here. You know, I guess I can't see any right here, but you know the little cellars where you go into. There's a chance where the whole cellar will be full of loot goblins. So that's the only secret that I've seen. I don't know if you really want to call it a secret. Another thing is like the specializations, like the specs that you find online, the builds you find online, they seem alright, but they still seem a little bit more like, still seem like cookie cutter. And I get that everyone's gonna like min-max, and that's just like the day and age of gaming that we're in. Like someone's gonna figure out the best possible way to, you know, be this class or be this spec, and they're just gonna do all the math. And if you're playing any other build than that, like you're bad, right? So I would like to see more like diversity in the skills. Maybe even like branch out the skill tree a little bit more. Give us a little bit more points. Maybe even have like another ultimate where you have to like actually choose like more of a decision. Maybe even give us one more of these. I don't know. That's just my thoughts about it. And another thing is like in Diablo 2, you could really like use any ability you wanted to. Like for example, Frost Nova, like in this case has a 10-second cooldown, but in Diablo 2, you could go like a straight up Frost Nova spec and just spam Frost Nova if you wanted to. So I think it would be cool if they did something like that. Um, you know, maybe even like what's the one where the lightning comes down? I don't know, we'll see. Maybe in the future they'll come out with the Crusader or Paladin and get Thorn's Aura or Holy Shakadan, you know, stuff like that. Just more like unconventional builds. Like, I think that would be cool. And another problem that a lot of people have, I don't really have this problem, but the basic skill cast to main cast, where you have to charge up your resource. As a sorceress, I've kind of got enough mana regen to never have to use a basic ability. I don't even have a basic ability on my bar. I just spam ice shards and I never run out of mana. So that feels good for me. And you know, there's some things I really like about the game. And I'm not like saying it's like a horrible game. I just think that there's things that could be done a lot better. And that's it. That's my thoughts. I just wanted to kind of share that with you guys. I appreciate you watching. Peace.
Fail!